Introduce myself, Lefrançois. I'm CEO of Columbus Gold. Columbus is listed on the Toronto Stock Exchange under the symbol CGT. It is focused on greenstone belts in the Guiana Shield, South America, and currently it has 3 gold projects under development, all 3 in French Guiana. French Guiana is an overseas department and region of France, so it uses the euro. The projects that we have are all in various stages of development that I'll explain later. This year's priority, which we're going to take advantage of the current gold market, equities market, is we're going to acquire an additional advanced stage project in South America. We want to diversify outside of French Guiana. And to attain this objective, Columbus will leverage the financing capabilities of our recently announced financial partner, strategic partner, Paris-based OCIM Finance. We found it was important to get some European money into the game since we were operating in European territory. So I forgot to click it, but right here is French Guiana. Right now, also in combination with our growth strategy, Columbus has adopted a responsible mining approach for sustainable development that will be compatible with new international and French environmental and social standards and expectations, which we believe will substantially de-risk future project development, especially operating in South America. Right now, we have a specific model we want to look at. So the favorite targets we're looking at are very high-grade deposits, low sulfide, that can be developed with reduced environmental footprint and using innovative technologies. An example are mesothermal shear-hosted vein systems in greenstone belts, which one of our projects we acquired is exactly along this model. So right now into the share structure. Our market cap right now is 30 million Canadian dollars. We have 190 million shares in the circulation right now. 55% of the shares are held by institutions. Top shareholders include mid-tier producers IAMGOLD and Norgold. And our strategic partner, OCIM Finance, have come into recent financing, hold 7% of the shares right now. And that will increase to 15% once we close the private placement we announced last few weeks. So basically right now, our share price is trading at an all-time low. This is due to the fact that in late 2017, we announced the mine construction decision on the Montagne d'Or deposit in French Guiana. And also we spun out the US assets into Allegiant Gold. So both events occurred in late 2017 and had an important impact on the share price. Even the acquisition of new projects, we're still waiting to get some drilling to start moving the share price upward. So right now, on the project side, Columbus' core asset is a 45% interest in the Montagne d'Or mine development project. During the lengthy permitting process for Montagne d'Or, we've acquired a new project called Maripa. We signed an option with IAMGOLD in mid-2018 to acquire up to 70%, and this is the project we're bringing to drilling stage this year. And then right now we've signed an LOI for a third project in French Guiana. The definite agreement is in negotiation and circulation and will be executed once the grant of the pending exploration permit, which forms the project, is granted by the French government. So on to the Montagne d'Or project, our core asset. The project is located in the interior northwest French Guiana and accessed by 120-kilometer laterite road from the coastal area. It is a joint venture between mid-tier producer Norgold and Columbus Gold. Norgold acquired 55% interest by delivering a feasibility study in early 2017. Norgold is the operator now since late 2017 after the feasibility. And to note that Columbus has no expenditures on the project until all permits are delivered for construction of the mine. So we're pretty much free carried until the construction starts. Now, Montagne d'Or is atypical of that area of Paleoproterozoic rocks. It's basically classified as a large gold-rich volcanogenic sulfide deposit. It's currently drill defined over 2.5 kilometer strike length and to a vertical depth of 250 meters. So it was only drilled out for the open pit portion. It has right now in-pit measured and indicated resources of 3.8 million ounces at an average grade of 1.4 grams per ton gold, with an additional deeper inferred resources of 1 million ounces at an average grade of 1.5 grams per ton gold. Included in the resources are proven and probable reserves of 2.7 million ounces at a slightly higher grade, 1.6 gram per ton gold. The feasibility study foresees an open pit operation with annual production of 240,000 ounces of gold for the first 10 years of the 12-year mine life at an all-in sustaining cost of $750 per ounce. There is considerable upside at Montagne d'Or. There's 2 million ounces of in-pit resources that are not converted to reserves yet, and there remains very limited drilling outside the resource area. So the project milestones, infill drilling and economic assessment began in late 2013 under an option with Norgold. Norgold was earning in, and they completed the first feasibility in early 2017. In 2018, we were submitted by the French government to the mandatory public consultation phase of the project after the feasibility, and it was conducted under the mandate of the French National Commission of Public Debate. And since then, we've been doing engineering studies for committed improvements and modifications to the project under the recommendations of that commission, and also to satisfy the French government's expectation on environmental protection. These studies are anticipated to be completed in the first semester of this year at a cost of $18 million US. Now, there's 3 remaining milestones prior to the joint venture of Columbus Norgold to submit the permit applications for mine construction and operations. Right now, the French government, and this is pretty much standard now, is setting new environmental standards for mining projects that will be defined by a new mining code reform that should be enacted this year. There's a project that will be submitted to the Council of Ministers in France this spring, and hopefully we'll have a reform of the mine by the end of the year. Now, the joint venture is making very good progress in moving ahead to develop a compatible project that meets the French government's expectation on the environmental protection. And we have, right now, very favorable is the local elected officials in French Guiana, also the chambers of commerce, the business associations, and the syndicates in French Guiana are all supportive of the project. So we have very large support locally. We have to convince Paris that this is a good mine for economic development in French Guiana. So on to now our exploration project that we're moving ahead. It's called Maripa. And basically, Columbus signed an option agreement with IAMGOLD in July 2018 to acquire up to 70% in Maripa. The project consists of 5 contiguous exploration permits covering 120 square kilometers, and it's located right along a paved highway about 60 kilometers south of the capital city of Quebec, Cayenne, sorry. That way, the exploration costs will be a lot lower. You know, most of the projects in the Guiana Shield are all helicopter. There's no roads into it. This is it's going to lower our costs on exploration and development. At Maripa, the past drilling was limited to shallow depths, but defined 5 broad gold zones at surface. All gold zones return gold mineralized intercepts of economic interest. So Maripa, geologically, is situated along a major deformation zone known as the Northern Guiana Throw, which can be traced along northern French Guiana all the way to the west into Suriname. The Northern Guiana Throw is recognized as a highly favorable geological environment for large gold deposits, and it's marked by transtensional pull-apart basins that are filled with coarse detrital sediments. This is the exact geological setting that you will find at Kirkland Lake in Ontario. The geological setting at Maripa is equivalent also to the large Rosebell deposit in neighboring Suriname. The mine is run by IAMGOLD. It's over 50 million ounces now in reserves, what was mined, and resources, so very large deposit. And it's basically characterized by a fault-bounded contact between volcanic assemblages of the Paramaca Formation, which you see here in the greens and the yellows, and the pull-apart basin sediments in the dark blue. So the gold mineralization at Maripa is a classic mesothermal vein type developed along major shear zones along this contact zone. Right now, the 5 partially drilled gold zones that was drilled by the French Geological Survey, the BRGM, and IAMGOLD, that you see here in the red thick lines are distributed over a 20-kilometer stretch of stratigraphic structural trend. So there's gold that's spread all along this contact, and there's potential for numerous deposits. Work right now is basically focused on the northern part of the property along the Changement and Filon-Drone deposits or gold zones, which are indicated in the bold text here. So the 2019 fieldwork on Maripa, after acquiring it in 2018, was limited to the north half of the project, and it led to the discovery of 4 new quartz gold vein systems exposed by artisanal miners. We have a lot of Brazilians, most of them are illegal, exploit deposits out there. And basically when we went out there and located these, we used high resolution LiDAR topo to find disruptions in the topography, and we fell on illegal mining sites. All the sites returned high-grade gold assays from select material sampled from the mine dumps, and you can see some of the assays there that were returned from some of our sampling. So these finds are highlighted here in the light blue boxes, are located along the southern projection of the Changement gold zone at the northern end of the property, now defining a 2-kilometer gold mineralized trend along a major structure. Also, we found some gold zones that are parallel to the Filon-Drone gold zones located in the central part of the project. Note that the soil gold anomaly over Filon-Drone area, here contoured in the pinks and yellows, is over 1 square kilometer. Now, the French Guiana budget for this year totals about 4.8 million Canadian dollars and will provide for geological studies, ground geophysical surveys, and 5,000 meters of drilling at Maripa. We also have a small budget for if we acquire the Rhea property this year. So the first phase of drilling at Maripa will be split between Changement and Filon-Drone in the northern half of the property, and we'll test those, extend those deposits because they've only been drilled very close to surface, and also test the newly defined vein systems that we have discovered during our prospecting last year. So the first phase of drilling should start in the second quarter, and it's fully financed. We have right now over $4 million in the bank account, and we're preparing another financing that should be closing in the month of March. So in conclusion, what I'd like to just point out is the 4 catalysts this year is started drilling at Maripa. The completion of the studies at Montagne d'Or, the complementary studies to better the project for the French government, and hopefully we'll be able to complete the permit applications and submit them for the mine, beginning construction and operations in the coming years. And also the acquisition of a new advanced stage project. What we're looking for right now is in South America, is a near production or producing asset while Montagne d'Or is being permitted. So thank you very much for your time, and please visit us at our booth right outside the door here. We're right across across the room. Thank you.